All right, so one more. We have this whole thing. But first, before you get started, you should see that you have a quadratic in the denominator. You should factor that. We should start by factoring that denominator. Hopefully, it'll end up being the same as these two denominators as the factors, but we don't know that. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Maybe one of them is one of the factors. So don't just assume that these are the factors. They might be, but don't make that assumption. So I'm going to factor this, split up my x's. Positive tells me they're the same sign. The negative tells me they're both negative. Multiply to 8, add to negative 6, gives me negative 4 and negative 2. So I just factored that denominator. And now I want to multiply the entire equation by the LCD so I can cancel out denominators. So I need to figure out what is my LCD. So over to the side, figure out the LCD. So I look for each unique denominator. I have x minus 4 in the denominator. So that's one of them. Then I look at this denominator. It is different. That is x minus 2. So then I look at the first denominator. I have x minus 4. But I've already listed x minus 4, so I'm not going to write it again. I'm only listing unique denominators. So I don't need to write x minus 4 again. I'm just making a list of anything that's in the denominator. There's another x minus 2, but I've already written it once, so I'm not going to write it again. So that's my LCD. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by x minus 4 times x minus 2. When I multiply the first fraction, I have x minus 4 in the bottom, it cancels. I have x minus 2 in the bottom, it cancels. So it's just 4, exactly. So then I go to the second one. This one has an x minus 2 in the denominator. So it's going to cancel the x minus 2 in the LCD. So it's 3x times x minus 4. And then I do it to the last one. Plus, the x minus 4 in the denominator is going to cancel the x minus 4 in the LCD. So I have 2 times x minus 2. All right, so I have now canceled out my denominators. There's no more denominators. So now I need to multiply it out so I can see if I can factor this. So the 3x goes to both parts. And the 2 is going to go to both parts to get rid of the parentheses. All right, so I have 4 equals 3x squared minus 12x plus 2x minus 4. And then I have like terms. Yep, I want to combine my like terms because there's x terms in the middle. And when I do that, I want to go ahead and move this 4 also while I'm doing it. So I'm going to subtract 4. I'm just going to do 2 things at once. All right, so now on the left I have 0. That equals 3x squared minus 10x minus 8. And then I'm going to factor it. This one does factor because I'm going to multiply to negative 24. And I want to add to equal negative 10. So if I use negative 12 times positive 2, that's negative 24. And negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10. So 0 equals x minus 12 and x plus 2. Don't forget to divide by a. The a value is 3, so I need to divide both of these by 3. So 0 equals x minus 4 and x minus 2/3. So if it told me to factor, I would need to get rid of the denominator in this factor by moving it up in front. But I'm just solving, so I don't really need the factor. If you want to move it, you can, but you're just going to undo that in a minute. So since I'm solving, I know that x equals 4 and x equals, hold on, yeah, I did something wrong. Positive 2, this is positive 2/3. That's where I messed up. And when I solve it, I get negative 2/3. So I got 2 potential solutions. They might be the solutions. Maybe there's not an actual solution. Maybe they're both just extraneous. So I have to check my work. So go over to the side. I'm going to check when x equals 4. I'm plugging into my original equation. Everywhere there's an x, I'm going to put in a 4. So in the numerator, it's 4. The denominator, now I have 4 squared minus 6 times 4 plus 8 equals the numerator 3 times 4 over 4 minus 2 plus 2 over 4 minus 4, which gives me, if I simplify just each fraction, wherever there's multiplication, I have 4 over 0 equals 12 over 2 plus 2 over 0. And I don't need to go any further than that because I can see there's 2 big problems. Divide by 0, divide by 0. You're not allowed to ever divide by 0. So if it says divide by 0, it doesn't work. Fails the check. So that means that x equals 4 is an extraneous solution. So it's still part of the answer. I just need to mark it off and show that it's extraneous, that it failed the check. All right, so then I'm going to check the other one, negative 2/3. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. So x equals negative 2/3. Same thing, plug it in. Everywhere there was an x, you get 4 over negative 2/3 is squared minus 6 times negative 2/3 plus 8 equals, numerator is 3 times negative 2/3. Denominator is negative 2/3 minus 2 plus 2 over negative 2/3 minus 4. So on the left, if I simplify that denominator, I get 4 over 28. Sure, that can be simplified, but I'm not really worried about finding a value for an answer. Just something I can recognize as a number. And on the right side, if I simplify, then I get 4 over 28. So 4 over 28 equals 4 over 28. Yes, it does. So that means that this one is a solution. And my actual answer is right here. So I shortened your homework to 5 problems. And you do have a homework quiz on Monday that covers these 5 and the 3 I assigned yesterday.
How many questions is it?
I haven't written it yet, but I'm only pulling out of 8 questions.
5.
Oh, today's. I thought you were asking about the quiz.
I thought you said that the quiz was 2 questions.
37, 39, 41. Well, I haven't written it yet. It'll probably be 2 questions.
So I either do 50 or...
Well, it's not graded like that. I grade each point.
One of the